Hey everybody, today I'll be giving my full review of the Wolf King GTR. I've ridden it for about 250 miles now, on-road, off-road, and riding with traffic, so I believe I'm ready to share my thoughts on the scooter, what I like, what I don't like, and really see if this scooter is the best hybrid scooter out there, so let's get right into it. Let's start with the on-road capability. Coming from the Wolf King GT Pro, the GTR checks all the right boxes in terms of upgrades. The adjustable suspension and longer travel, coupled with the new shock in the rear, makes the scooter so much more comfortable for on-road use. This newer suspension does a great job at handling the bumps in the road. I generally ride for about 2+ hours, and I can say this scooter can comfortably be used for commuting long distances or just going out for a nice long ride. The traction control system is a nice added feature, which is quite surprising. Wheel spin is kept at a minimum, which allows for greater control, especially gassing it out of turns. I think this also allows riders stepping into the realm of these powerful scooters better control and allows for an easier transition. Having good throttle control is especially important, and I think that this system helps develop that. The new hybrid tires on the GTR are awesome. I think they provide a good balance between on-road grip and off-road stability without sacrificing one for the other. I can lean in and take turns pretty sharply on road, and the semi-knobby tires give good grip for off-road use, but more on that later. The tire is also a bit wider at 4 inches and bigger at just under 12 inches. I'm glad Kaabo decided to upgrade the tire size because larger tires on the road are always welcomed. Kaabo Ultra introduced the removable motor from the wheel, and I don't think this gets talked about enough. One of the big complaints I regularly see is how difficult it was to change the tires on the GT Pro, and this makes that process so much easier, being able to work on the tire without the motor being in the way. So let's talk about the stability of the scooter, especially at higher speeds. One of the main features that initially attracted me to the Kaabo Wolf line of scooters is the dual front fork design. I think it's a very smart design and one that should be much more durable than its single stem counterparts, and that's especially true when you take the scooter off-road. The handling that the dual front forks provide is top-notch, high speeds are very comfortable, and I don't feel like the scooter needs any kind of stability aid like a steering dampener. Whether you're just cruising at a low speed or going all out at 60+ miles per hour, the scooter feels solid, and that really gives testament to its design. I just want to jump in here real quick and mention that I am now an affiliate with Voro Motors. If you're looking to buy the Wolf King GTR, please use my link in the description. I have a $50 off coupon code DAVERIDES to save you some money. Please check out my link tree in the description where you'll find my other Amazon links to products that I use, as well as a store tab where you'll find other scooters at Voro Motors. Use those links if you're interested in purchasing one of those scooters, and don't forget to use my coupon code for a discount. This is a big way you can help support the channel so I can continue to make these videos, and I can't thank you enough for your support. Now back to the video. So let's talk about the brakes. I feel this is somewhat of a debated topic within the community, but I feel like the stock brakes do a fine enough job at slowing the scooter down, especially with regen on. Since these are the same brakes that were on the Wolf King GT Pro, I had 1,200 miles on it and still hadn't needed to change them. So I feel the compromise between good brakes and long-lasting pads a good middle ground. Lastly, the main issue with scooters is their small tires. You're only going to stop fast enough if your tires have the grip to stop you. If you're sliding, then it's not going to matter how great your brakes are at that point. You don't have the traction to stop faster. The removable battery is one of the new key features of the GTR, and at first I wasn't sure if I really cared for this feature, but after receiving my scooter, I can definitely say that I love it. The ability to leave your scooter in the garage and take the battery inside to charge, especially if you live in an apartment complex, is very nice. This also takes weight off the scooter, so moving it in and out of vehicles or storage is a huge convenience. The new removable battery is 33.6 amp hour capacity, which is a little less than the previous model at 35 amp hour, which at first I was kind of bummed about. One of the features of this scooter is its range, and I felt like initially they took a step backwards here. However, it seems like that I received a healthy battery that charges to over 84 volts, and through my testing, I was able to get over 60 miles of range with light to moderate riding, which I was surprised by. This makes the GTR on par in terms of range with the previous GT Pro, so I feel like the difference in capacity is negligible, and now you have the plus of being able to remove the battery from the scooter. This leads us to the off-road capabilities of the scooter. Spending about half of my time riding on-road as well as off-road, this was especially important to me. I feel if the scooter isn't able to take the abuse with off-road riding, then that tells you something about its durability long-term, even if you are just riding on the street. Things like potholes and jumping off curbs can have a huge impact on durability long-term, and this is a key difference between this scooter and others in this category. I bring us back to the dual stem design, outshining its competition here. Trail riding is a ton of fun, and coupled with the new suspension really makes the scooter the king of off-road. The deck height, now at 14 inches tall without the rider, is also beneficial, especially for me. Being only about 5 foot 5 inches tall, I like being higher off the ground, which makes me easier to see by other vehicles, and I don't feel like it negatively impacts the riding characteristics of the scooter at all. This allows better clearance for off-road riding too. Kaabo also did a great job updating the lighting system on the GTR. All the lights are nice and bright, and for added safety, now the blinkers as well as the brake lights light up the sides of the deck of the scooter. I like keeping both blinkers on at night to give off a sort of hazard warning effect for oncoming cars, and it seems to be effective. The headlights are really bright, and something Kaabo hasn't changed for generations now, and for a good reason. These lights have a nice beam angle and spread, and if you wanted even more light, it's easy to install an extra battery operated light on the handlebars too. I enjoy going on night rides, and with the added features and bright front light, this scooter is definitely made for it. Group rides are a blast, and rest assured, you'll have one of the brightest lights in the group. And this brings us to the performance of the scooter. I don't think you can name a scooter the GTR without it signifying speed, and this scooter lives up to its name. The dual 2000 watt motors with a peak output of over 13,000 watts literally will take your breath away. Pop the scooter into S mode to deliver 110 amps split between the motors, and this scooter will rocket you to over 60 miles per hour. In my testing, I was able to go 65 miles per hour, and S mode just pulls like a freight train. Traction control is disabled in this setting, and it's possible to do rolling burnouts up to 30 plus miles per hour. This scooter definitely lives up to its name and is one of the fastest production scooters out there at the time of this recording. There aren't many scooters that can go this fast comfortably, and this is one of them. It's so stable at high speeds, and I did all this in stock form with no steering dampener. If you're seeking performance, then this scooter definitely checks that box. So far, with about 250 miles on my GTR, I haven't had to do any maintenance on the scooter besides checking the main bolts before each ride and the tire pressure. I am really impressed by this. Hopefully this will be all that's needed besides eventually tire and brake pad changes. I'll do a 1,000 mile update when I reach that milestone, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. Now there must be something I don't like, right? Well, I do love everything about this scooter, but the new trigger throttle. It may be by unpopular opinion, but for me it's very uncomfortable. You either have to sacrifice brake lever position for throttle placement, or the other way around, and with that my short fingers, it's difficult to reach the front brake lever, especially if you're going over bumps off-road, so much so that I rarely even use the front brake at all. I have to lift my hand off the handlebar and put pressure forward in order to grab the brake lever, and this obviously raises a safety issue as well. Now I know what you're thinking, and no, I cannot raise the brake lever without it hitting the throttle. I love the thumb throttle on the GT Pro. It made the front brake lever comfortable to reach and allowed my hand to have pressure behind the handlebar. I feel the trigger throttle may be fine for on-road use, but for off-road it becomes very apparent of its flaw. Now the good thing is I can swap it with the thumb throttle and I'll be doing just that. And that leads me to my final thoughts. Is this scooter the best hybrid scooter? I definitely think so. Other scooters seem to lack durability because of the single stem design or compromise in off-road capabilities to thrive in on-road scenarios. They seem to all meet in the middle, where the GTR thrives in basically all aspects. If you have the GT Pro and you're looking to upgrade to this model, then I do think the extra cost is worth what you're getting here. There is no doubt that the GTR is the better scooter over the GT Pro. And that's going to wrap up my initial review of the Kaabo Wolf King GTR. Please give the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for future content if you like what you've seen. Leave a comment what you look for in a scooter that holds high value in your decision making, and I'll see you in the next video.